Redneck ingenuity. Those are 16-foot 4x4s on there, and I just drove it home from the lumber yard, actually in the rain. It was a very light drizzle. It's going to rain here a lot harder in just a little bit, but my pickup truck is working just fine. I did get a ratchet strap on the back. They're secure. I mean, the whole car's moving. Well, I got some of my parts in yesterday. I got four of those for the CV boot there. This is the molding that goes on the trunk lid, the deck lid on the back. Got a couple new flashlights from Olight. They have a special going on. And then this is the rear engine seal molding. This is probably what I need the absolute most right now. Doesn't look like it's gonna be fun to get that in the track. And unfortunately, like every other day, it seems like it's raining again here today. So I could go down in the container and work on it, but I think I'm just gonna take the day off today. So I'm digging post holes the hard way, and putting up these 16-foot posts. I'm actually gonna put 3 of them up, and they're going to hold up my, I'm gonna put a tarp on some rope across, so it'll go like maybe towards the last third of the bus there and then over. So I'll have a tarped off area. It should naturally go downhill because this slopes down. You really can't tell too much in the video here, but sorry, I'm out of breath from using that manual postal digger. It's 3 foot in the ground, so I think that'll be all right. I'm gonna put concrete with it. I mean, it's standing pretty straight all on its own, and there's no dirt around it whatsoever there. It doesn't have a whole lot of side blowout before it gets that for the first foot to the trench there, but it goes in, like I said, 3 feet. So that'll give me 13 feet above the buses. Most of these buses are about 11 feet, 12.6 with the air conditioners usually. But I can adjust it or take it down. It's just gonna be a tarp. I'm probably gonna end up using one of these tarps for right now. I think those are 20 by 30, something like that. Just enough to get me out of the damn rain. The other one I'm gonna attach one to a tree, and then this one here, and then I got 2 more to put in. I could probably go to a tree back over here too. After digging the first one, that'll make my life a little easier. And then I guess the other one I'll put on the other side of the drive here so it's not in the way, but it'll be a nice protector from the culvert over there. It'll just have a longer rope that runs to it. And as long as it's high enough where buses can go under on the driveway, we'll be in good shape. But again, it can always come down. Well, I'm warning you now, it's not going to be pretty or professional, but it ought to make a few people happier. The owner did pressure wash that engine before he delivered it. It still has some dirt on it. I'm going to try and scrape. I'm not going to spend a lot of time though, because that's crazy, but now that at least have it out and have good access to it, I will take an hour of my time and try and clean it up, and I'll paint it for him. But certainly don't think that it's a rebuilt engine just because it's got pretty paint on it. It's a running takeout that will just have a new coat of paint on it. All right, thanks to O'Reilly's for delivering me the paint out here. I didn't have to run and go get it. It rained most of the day. It stopped about right around 3 o'clock. So I was able to actually come out here and do some work, not in the rain. But it was tarped up, so it was nice and dry. Again, it may seal up a couple oil leaks, and it'll stop some corrosion and rust on it. I got a few more cans to spray on it, and that was just kind of just playing around. But yeah, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. It's just going to look a little bit better, but it won't make it run any better, that's for sure. I certainly don't want to be accused of doing a spray paint rebuild or rattle can rebuild kind of thing. That is not making any claims of that. It'll just look a little better for him, and it'll maybe help him detect oil leaks and stuff too a little easier. Looks better though. So I got this little oil temperature sensor, and it's super simple the way that it operates. So it basically replaces your dipstick. So you pull your original dipstick out, and it's going to go in that same hole. So the bottom of it is going to be submerged in the engine oil down there, where it's going to get a good oil temperature reading. And then as far as, you don't have to run any wires or anything because it comes with a wire here. So what it's going to do is it's going to use my low oil pressure sensor that's over here. It's going to tee off of this, and then so it'll use the wire that goes back to the light and gauge up front. So when you lose oil pressure, there's a red light that comes on the dashboard. So by hooking onto here, when the temperature gets high, it'll complete a circuit and turn on that same light bulb. So I won't know if I have oil pressure, low oil pressure or high temperature, but either of the two I should make a change for. So the way that it works, the end of this here has this little copper piece on it here, and that screw is what completes the ground. So as the temperature goes up, this thing swings around and comes to this side. As it gets close to touching that, the vibration going down the road will make it start to just make some contact and bounce on and off of it. And that'll give the light a little bit of a warning up front. It'll flicker on and off. And then once it gets hotter, it'll continue to move over and just make a permanent touch to there to ground out and trip the sensor, or the lights and the gauge up front. So super easy to do, 2-minute install. I'm really excited to do it. That's it, I installed it. You run the wire behind the generator stand and it comes over here, and I got it hooked onto there, and then the other one's on there. And again, just to show you how it works, as it heats up, this little thing will move over, and then when it touches that screw, when it gets hotter and it'll turn, you know, and when it touches the screw, it grounds out. And the only thing I have to do is, what's in the directions, is I have to flatten a little part of the inside of that just to give it a tighter grip inside the tube. It's too loose right now, so I just gotta, there's a little flat spot on there, you just gotta squeeze it with some pliers just a little bit, just to make it so it grabs a little bit better. It's got a little bit of a grab. Actually depends on that position I have it turned in, because it grabs pretty good right there. So I'm just gonna flatten it a little bit more.